Hey, welcome to On This Day. Today's date is February 4th. It is the 45th day of winter. There are 45 days left until spring. Officially, we have reached the halfway point. I gotta tell you, it's been a very disappointing winter here in Portland, Oregon. Like I said yesterday, we've had a couple flakes, that was it. Nothing major, no snowstorm, not even a bunch of rain. It's been pretty mild. Today is World Cancer Day, sadly. My mom died of lung cancer in 1997, so I always know when this day's coming. I mentioned that to a dude that I went to high school with. I really didn't like him too much. But anyway, he used to live down the street from my parents' house, and he'd give my mom a wave, and eventually I ran into him, and I told him that my mom had passed away of lung cancer, and he looked at me and said, "How'd she get it? How'd she get it?" What kind of question is that? I just looked at him and said, "Unprotected sex," and then I watched him look confused for like 2 minutes. I finally told him smoking like pretty much everyone else that gets lung cancer. Jackass. Anyway, besides people getting lung cancer, let's take a look at what else happened on February 4th in the past. 1789, George Washington is unanimously elected as the first president of the United States of America by the U.S. Electoral College. George Washington won all the electoral votes, running effectively unopposed. This was the only time that's ever happened. In 1820, James Monroe, running unopposed, carried all 23 states that we had at the time. One electoral vote was cast for John Quincy Adams, and 2 electors died prior to casting their votes, but basically he won all the states. So that one, it kind of gets an asterisk, sort of like the Houston Astros World Series win. In 1936, Franklin Delano Roosevelt carried 46 of the 48 states we had at the time, losing only Maine and Vermont. A complete 50-state victory has not been accomplished since the 50th state was admitted into the Union, although Republicans have twice managed to win the presidency in 49 of the 50. In 1972, Richard Nixon, losing only Massachusetts, and in 1984, Ronald Reagan lost Minnesota. That was it. 1794, the French abolished slavery throughout all their territories. It is reestablished in the West Indies, though, in 1802. I guess they figured it was just too hard to not treat human beings like livestock. 1846, the first Mormon pioneers leave Illinois westward towards Salt Lake Valley. The territory was owned by the Republic of Mexico at the time, which soon after went to war with the United States over the annexation of Texas. Salt Lake Valley became an American territory as a result of this war. Since its founding in 1830, members of the LDS Church weren't too well liked by their neighbors, partly due to their religious beliefs and sometimes, things that the church leaders and members did. So after a while of getting bad vibes from all their neighbors, they went in search of a place where, there were no neighbors, and I guess that was Utah at the time. 1861, the American Civil War. In Montgomery, Alabama, delegates from the 6 breakaway U.S. states meet and form the Confederate States of America. This would only last till 1865. So it was a good run. Sure, they were their own country for 4 years, but they kind of had to know it wasn't going to work out. 1938, Adolf Hitler appoints himself as head of the Armed Forces High Command. When a world leader starts appointing themselves for shit, it's time to look at the guy next to you and say, hey, this dude's gotta go. What's going to happen if someone like Hitler sucks at the new job? Which he did. Who's going to fire him? There's nobody to fire him. You just end up in way over your head and living your last few days in a bunker. 1967, Lunar Orbiter Program. The Lunar Orbiter 3 lifts off from Cape Canaveral Launch Complex 13 on a mission to identify possible landing sites for the Surveyor and Apollo spacecrafts. Basically, they wanted to make sure they could find a nice soft landing patch on the moon before they got guys up there and all of a sudden went, whoa, there's no place to land here, and had to come home. 2004, Facebook, a mainstream online social network. I didn't have to explain that to anyone. If you're on YouTube, you've heard of Facebook, you're on Facebook, and you know what's going on. But anyway, it was founded by Mark Zuckerberg in 2004. As of December 2019, the website has 2.5 billion monthly active users. If you ever seen the movie The Social Network, you'll kind of think Zuckerberg's kind of a dick and a D-bag. Some say he stole the idea from 2 twin brothers that hired him to program an app for him. Maybe he did a little bit, but really, that's how most things happen in business, it seems like. Did Phil Knight invent the tennis shoe? No. He made it light years better than they were before with the Nike. Did Jeff Bezos from Amazon invent the internet? No, Al Gore did. Everybody knows that. Born on February 4th, 1913, Rosa Parks, American civil rights activist. Everybody knows about Rosa Parks and the Montgomery bus boycott. She wouldn't give up her seat for a white man. Everyone knows about that. She was one of the fuses that helped launch the civil rights movement of the 1950s and 60s. Ms. Parks moved to Detroit in the late 50s and lived there for the rest of her life. She died at the age of 92 in 2005. Now here's a great story about Rosa Parks in Detroit. Mike Ilitch, the founder of Little Caesars and owner of the Detroit Tigers and Red Wings, read about Ms. Parks being robbed and assaulted in her apartment in the early 1990s. Mr. Ilitch moved her out of her bad neighborhood apartment into a nice downtown waterfront apartment. He paid the rent until the day she died. He also made sure she was okay and would check up on her from time to time. Here's the thing about it. It was never made public. Until the day he died in 2017, nobody really knew about this. Probably just the people that worked with him knew about it, but he never made it public. Just a decent man doing what he felt was right. 1947, Dan Quayle, lawyer and politician. He was the 44th vice president of the United States for President George H.W. Bush. 1948, Alice Cooper, American singer, songwriter, and pretty much weird dude all the way around. He golfs, and he golfs with a thing called a death stick. That's the brand that he used to golf with, as far as the sticks go. Saw a commercial for it. They were all black golf clubs. It was really weird. Died on February 4th, 1987. Liberace dies. American singer, songwriter, and amazing pianist. I know it sounds like I said penis. Still, Liberace was secretly diagnosed HIV positive in August of 1985 by his private physician in Las Vegas. This was just 18 months before his death. Carrie James Wyman, his alleged lover of 7 years, was also infected and died in 1997. Another alleged lover, named Chris Adler, came forward after Liberace's death and claimed that Liberace infected him with HIV. Adler died in 1990 at the age of 30. Aside from his long-term manager, Seymour Heller, and a few other members and associates of Liberace, they all kept his terminal illness a secret until the day he died, and he never sought medical treatment. Weird. I guess he thought he was going to beat it. I don't know. So, Liberace was clearly gay. He is by far one of the most over-the-top flamboyant men that has ever walked the earth. And back when he was alive and he was performing, my mom had mentioned that he was gay, and my aunt, they were talking about it. And my grandmother, who loved him, would not believe that this man was gay. I just remember her going, oh, the ladies love him. There's no way he could be gay. I'm looking at the TV. I think I was like 9 going, this man is clearly gay. But yeah, my grandmother, till the day she died, she would not believe Liberace was gay. 2016, Edgar Mitchell, American captain, pilot, and astronaut, dies at 85. He was best known for his NASA career, where he was part of the support group for Apollo 9 and backup pilot for Apollo 10, and he was placed in the rotation for Apollo 13 and 14. 2018, we lost John Mahoney, English-American actor, voice artist, and comedian. He dies at 77 due to complications from throat cancer. He is best known for his work on Frasier. He played the dad on Frasier, the TV show. He was also in like Code of Silence and a whole bunch of other movies. All right, so that is today, February 4th. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. Everybody have a great day. Be nice to each other.